Hello and welcome back to another update. In this one we'll be covering the Luhansk and Donetsk fronts. So starting out in the Luhansk front, the situation has calmed down a little bit as the only fighting now occurs in the north around the Satova area, where the Russians are attempting to advance towards Selmahivka and completely recapture Kuzimivka. Further south in the area of Kreminna, there's fighting ongoing in the direction of Makivka as well as Nevske. And both sides are advancing in the area of Chernovo-Popivka, as the Ukrainians are advancing towards it and the Russians are trying to push them back. And Ukrainians are also attacking Dibrova from two directions, from the south and from the west. Further south in the area of Yakovlivka, the fighting is ongoing in three directions, as the Russians are attempting to attack Vesele, as well as Rosolivka and Solodar. The fighting in Solodar itself is also ongoing, as the Russians have actually managed to advance a little bit in the village, and they are also trying to close in on the city of Solodar. Further south, the fighting is ongoing in the direction of Pithorodne, as well as the east of Bakhmut, and in Opytne, where there's actually started a new front where the Russians are attempting to outflank the Ukrainian positions in Opytne from the east, as well as fighting continuing from the south. Also, a very interesting update is this update here, where someone released a map of Ukrainian positions in Bakhmut. Looking at the map, we can count about 16 brigades throughout Bakhmut and Klishchivka, as well as Yakovlivka and Solodar area. With this, we can count about 60,000 soldiers, as every brigade has about 4,000 soldiers in the Ukrainian army. 4 times 16, that's 64,000. However, there's a lot of regiment-sized and battalion-sized groupings as well. And at the same time, we don't expect all groupings to be at full strength. If we compare this to militaryland.net, it is somewhat similar, as we see there's a lot of brigades in the area. With this, we know there's about 60,000 Ukrainian soldiers in and around Bakhmut. If I had to take an estimate of how many Russian troops are in and around Bakhmut, first we have to look at the fact that there's about 30 to 40,000 Wagner PMC, and their area of fighting is from Bilohorivka all the way down south to Kurdyumivka, which is this large an area. If we assume that their focus is around Solodar as well as Bakhmut, we can estimate that most of their forces are here, while smaller brigades size units are in the north and south. With this, we can estimate about 30,000 Wagner PMC in and around Bakhmut. With this, we also have some DPR and Russian soldiers. If we assume that most of the Russian soldiers are working on artillery and some DPR are in the field with the Wagner PMC, with this we can estimate about 40 to 50,000 Russian troops. That means that the Ukrainians are outnumbering the Russians with about 10 to 20,000 soldiers. Moving on to further south, the Russians are still attempting to advance towards Klishchivka. There's been no update on the southern advance, nor in the advance in the direction of Bilohora and Dylyivka. However, the Russians have started an offensive towards both Drushba as well as Pivchina, which is in the direction of Turetsk from the east. Further south, there is the fighting ongoing around Vodian, as well as Krasnohorivka and Marinka, where there's been no progress. The fighting is just ongoing. Anyways, that's it for this update. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.